is going on, guys? We are back with our second part of the recommendation mailbox. I've waited a little bit just because I've been busy with a lot of other content that I'm assembling. The mailbox is I'm still receiving mail. If you would like a recommendation, the survey is going to be down in the description. Feel free to send me a letter as I call it, because I like to give people recommendations, and that is what this video is set out to do. You'll see later that I'm recommending games on a different platform than just video games. So you'll see some of that later, but first let's get right to some of the suggestions. We'll start with Jonah. Jonah wants something for either his phone or a PC, a turn-based strategy game, deck building, detective, or narrative. Some of the ones that are related to those genres is the Total War series, Slay the Spire, Disco Elysium, Unheard, and I Was a Teenage Exorcist. Single player or local multiplayer is what he would prefer, and he wants to be able to beat it in 10 to 20 hours. So I went with focusing on the 10 to 20 hours and Slay the Spire. I'm going with the game Loop Hero. I'm going to recommend this one because it has a nice procedural feel. It is kind of deck building, kind of like Slay the Spire, but you're playing over the course of like how the hero goes around this loop. I beat it on mobile, and I've played 10 or 15 hours on PC. It has a really good app, and that's another thing, because they said that Jonah said he wanted something on that for possible mobile. So it's very addictive, like that quote says, very addictive, and just overall just really fun. And that's why I'm going to recommend for him Loop Hero. After that, we have a request from Kat. She would like something for Switch, PC, or mobile. The genres that she is looking for is a first-person shooter with a good story, farming / cozy sims, an RPG, whether it be action or Japanese RPG, open world, action adventure, puzzle, and monster collectors. She listed things that she likes are like Bioshock series, Fallout series, Baldur's Gate 3, Harvest Moon, Wildflowers, Slay the Spire, and those are just some like overviews of the genres that the games in the genre she likes. She wants something that's single player. She wants something that's controller based, and she doesn't want a stealth or horror game. So I kind of found something that's a mix of some of those genres. The genres being farming / cozy sims, open world, and adventure / puzzler. And I'm going to recommend Chicory: A Colorful Tale. Chicory: A Colorful Tale is really just a nice story because it tackles like mental struggles. It's very pleasant. It's got nice colors. You're painting the world as you want, and it kind of mixes all those things because it's cozy in appearance. It kind of tackles some of those bigger issues, and then you're also in the open world. Like, it's 2D, but it's an open world, and you're adventuring around kind of like a Zelda game. So I just think it's really good. It's really colorful, really pleasant, and it was one that I was very thrilled to beat last year. So that's why I'm going to recommend Chicory: A Colorful Tale to Kat. The next letter I received is from a friend of the stream. He's a good friend and fan of the stream, and someone who's active in the Dads on a Map community. This is Rontuaru, and he has another name that I know him better as, but he requested I say Rantuaru. So the suggestion that he said, he wants something that's either for Switch or PC. He likes fighting games, RPGs, roguelike, action, and platformer. Some of his favorites of those genres are The Darkest Dungeon, Lethal League, Dust Force, Melee, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Noita, the Risk of Rain series, and Street Fighter. He either wants a single player or a 1v1 game, and a question I added later was, what type of emotion do you want from it? And he was saying tension, challenge, fear, sorrow, mystery. And he said basically not a relaxing game. Now for him, I'm going to suggest 2 games. And that is because he is a sub to me on Twitch. So if you sub to me on Twitch and you want a recommendation, or you put in a request for a recommendation, I will give 2 suggestions. For the first one, I'm going to say for him, is going to be Stacklands. Stacklands is really cool because it is like a card-based, kind of a civilization game, but you're like managing this village, but you do everything through cards, and that is like managing, your the food, the hunger of the people. You're exploring, and I just think it's really, really fun game. I did get a Switch release too, so that does cover the bases of multiple platforms, and it got a DLC I think last year. It's quite good, just for being cards, and I know you from the board gaming side, so that's why I recommend Stacklands. The other game I'm recommending for you is Spiritfall. Is because Spiritfall is kind of like is based around platform fighters like Melee, and the way you go through it, it's the simplest way to put it is it's like Hades, but using melee movement and combat, and you're almost like building your own fighter from it, and it's single player based. It's still really good. I not the most game played from that release this year, but one of my most played games from this year, and it has a lot of like not end game, but a lot of content to be able to fill. So that's why I'm going to recommend to you Spiritfall. So here's where we get into a different type of game. We're going to go to board gaming because I come from board gaming. So I have a lot of board games, and so I wanted to give some board game recommendations. If people have questions about what board games do I think would fit best with them, my mailbox is open for those recommendations that I can give. So this is a board game for a friend of family. They were seeking some help in finding the right board game, so I'm going to offer my suggestion. They want something that's 6 players, appeals to age 8 and adults. Not too much spelling or word-based stuff for the 8-year-old. Not too strategic or complicated. Party games are good, but not like Apples to Apples. I know they have a lot of those. And nothing too ambiguous. So they gave their example, taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza. I've not played it, but the idea of it not being too ambiguous. I kind of sat in the middle with it being somewhat of a party game where you're like, it produces the energy of a party game, but it still has some thought behind it. I'm going to recommend the game Ghost Splits. It is a very odd game because a card is going to be flipped up and it has a picture on it, and the picture is going to have an illustration on it. There are 5 other objects in the game. There is a green bottle, there is a gray mouse, white ghost, red chair, and blue book. And on the card, there's going to be possibly 2 things. There's one of the objects may be exactly what is on the card. If that is exactly what is on the card, that's the object you have to be fastest to grab. So if there is a white ghost on the card, you are going to grab the white ghost. If there isn't something that matches, you are looking for the one thing that is not represented. So the ghost may be gray. The bottle may be blue. The chair may be white. You're trying to find the object and or color that is not represented. It's really hard for me to be able to explain the game without seeing it in front of me, because it works your brain in a different way. It's very easy. I mean, if the game's in front of me, I could teach you the game, but when I played it, it produced a lot of aha moments, or frustration whenever someone beats you to grab the right object. If you make a mistake and you grab the wrong thing, you have to give the person another point. The points are cards, so if I grab the ghost and it's correct, I get the card. And whoever has the most cards wins. So if another person would get the next one right and I grab the wrong thing, I have to give them one of my cards. It's quite fun. On Amazon, if you're ordering the game, you can get the full version, or you can get a miniature version that is about the size of a Mint tin. That's the only version I played, but you can really play with either version. I think it works well either way, from what I hear. Here, I'll give the quote of the review that Runtuaru gave for the game, because he also likes the game. I think he was in the game that I first played the game earlier this summer. He said, "This game spoke to me. I was ducking, dodging, dipping, diving, and dodging hands, with a little Jedi mind gaming on the side. Is it just set plus Egyptian rat screw? Yes, and haters are gonna hate." And I wanted to include that because that really is a good justification of why I like the game, and so I'm going to recommend to you Ghost Blitz. Now, my final recommendation is for my in-laws. They both are looking for a board game, and I thought, this is a good opportunity to offer my recommendation. They want a game for that fits ages 18 to 65, so their ages. They primarily play Yahtzee and Quirkle. Those are games they enjoy, and they want something simple like that. And they play Yahtzee multiple times a week together, and they always carry a copy with them everywhere. And I personally have played Yahtzee with them nearly a dozen times, and I've played with them even in a hotel room. So they always play Yahtzee. It's almost on the line of once a day. But for them, I didn't personally have a recommendation for a roll and write, because that is what I think of with Yahtzee. And so I decided to use Board Game Geek to kind of look at what other high-rated roll and writes there are. And I wanted something that fits in the similar weight class. Weight being how difficult the game is. If it's a lower weight, it's an easy game. If it's a higher weight, it's super difficult. So I'm going with a game called On Tour. It has a very pleasing look to it. It's about bands touring the continental U.S. And the idea is very simple. You're just rolling dice, 2 dice. They are, I think, 8-sided dice, or maybe 10-sided dice, and then you flip up 3 cards, and then you're with those numbers that you roll. If you roll a 3 and a 5, as an example, you have to write on your board a 35 and a 35, and a 53. You are trying to make it to where you can trace across your board from the lowest or highest, or the lowest number up, as in like you are climbing from like 1 to 100, and you cannot go down. You can do the same numbers, but you cannot go down. So if you have a number that's a 70, you cannot go to a 4. So you're trying to put these numbers out. The cards that you lay out are the areas of the map that you have. If you ever roll doubles, you get to put a star, and that is a wild. So those are also good. It seems very much up your alley, because in reality, someone rolls the dice and you both simultaneously act at the same time. You both are writing on this pictured map of the U.S., and I think it could make for something very simple and something to just. Do you want to play Yahtzee? No, not really. But I'll play something similar, and it seems like it's right up your alley. So that's what I'm going to recommend for you on tour. But for you guys watching who are wanting a board game or a video game recommendation, the links are in the description for my mailbox. I would happily do another iteration of the series, because I really like giving suggestions to people. That's one of the goals I have with the channel. I have a wealth of experience with games, whether it be video game or board game, and I want to be able to give that to other people. So, like I said, links in the description for those, and then also for the video games and board games I did recommend in this video, they're also going to be in the description. But otherwise, I'm going to end the video there. Have a great day, guys.